There is hardly anything more puzzling than when people disappear without a trace, especially when a video of them shortly before their disappearance appears afterward. This video is about precisely such cases, because today we show you the mysterious last recordings of people who were never seen again after that. Among others is a student who indicates completely incomprehensible behavior in a video before his disappearance, a woman who seemed to have a terrible premonition, or a sports star who suddenly disappeared off the face of the earth. Some cases will amaze you, and others will scare you, so stay tuned here at Wisefool. We start directly with a case that will make your blood run cold. The woman you see here is 27-year-old Susan Marie Powell from the US state of Utah. The mother of 2 young sons recorded this video of herself with a camera in 2009. As you probably already guessed, something doesn't seem right at this point because Susan looks tired and sad, and even her brief smile doesn't seem genuine. However, what the young mother says in the video is even more disturbing. The 27-year-old lists all the valuable objects in her house, films them, and says that she does this for safety in case something happens to her.
Covering all my bases, making sure that if something happens to me or my family or all of us, that our assets are documented.
A short time later, Susan Marie Powell disappears without a trace. Her husband Joshua quickly comes under suspicion of having something to do with his wife's disappearance. They can't prove anything yet, but the police soon suspect that he threw Susan down a mine shaft in mountainous Utah. In fact, the young mother has not been found there or anywhere else. So why precisely did the video from earlier, the last shot of Susan, never really come out? But it gets even more tragic. After Susan was officially declared dead, her parents got custody of her 2 young children, but Susan's husband Joshua went utterly berserk and ended his life and that of his 2 offspring. We continue with the highly mysterious disappearance of an English rugby player. The 24-year-old Levi Davis was not only celebrated as a sports star in his home country, but was also known for his appearance on the music show, The X Factor, when he flew to Spain last year. From here, the athlete sent his mother another cheerful cell phone video. In it, Levi Davis can be seen grinning broadly on board a ship and showing his mother the fantastic sea view. He emphasizes several times how beautiful everything is. In the evening, the 24-year-old Englishman then sent his mother another video. He is celebrating in an Irish pub in Barcelona and watching a music show. At night, a surveillance camera in front of the pub then captures Levi Davis leaving the pub. He is leisurely strolling down the sidewalk with his backpack, passing other partygoers. Although this shot seems completely normal, it is the last time the athlete is seen. In the middle of the bustling metropolis of Barcelona, Levi then disappears without a trace. And although the area is a tourist hotspot with many people out and about at the time, no one knows what happened to the rugby player that night. The only sure thing is that neither his phone nor his bank card has been used since then. The police found a few weeks later only the passport of the 24-year-old at the port of the city. At the moment, it is assumed that he may have been kidnapped by a criminal organization. However, this could not be proven so far. Our next case in this video is no less mysterious, albeit in a different way. In 2018, 16-year-old Jed Hall, a teenager from the US state of Idaho, leaves his parents' house at night. He gets into his gray Nissan and drives away. On his way, Jed, whose full name is Matthew Hall, stops at a private school. As this footage from various surveillance cameras shows, the 16-year-old parks his car in the parking lot, gets out, and walks towards the entrance of the building. At this, the teen appears to be wearing a combat suit consisting of military boots, knee pads, and eye and ear protection. Jed Hall, considered extremely intelligent and analytical, eventually breaks into the school by smashing the front door. But things get even more mysterious. Jed doesn't steal anything from the school. On the contrary, the 16-year-old goes to the locker of a girl he's in love with, but recently turned him down and made it clear she doesn't want to go with him. Jed Hall places an envelope containing $1,000 in the girl's locker, quickly runs away, hurries into his car, and drives off. After that, he disappears without a trace. These are the last recordings of the teenager that exist, and for a whole 4 years, neither Jed nor his car appears anywhere, while his parents pray to finally see their son again. It was not until 2022 that divers finally discovered the missing car with his remains inside in a river 15 meters from shore. Jed was probably fatally in love. The story continues with a missing persons case in which a dream trip turned into a nightmare in no time. But first things first, Natalie Holloway is an American student who has just turned 18 when she takes her class on a class trip to the Caribbean island of Aruba in 2005 to celebrate her high school graduation. At first, it's like any good graduation trip. Natalie and her classmates enjoy their time on the sunny island, as her last photos show. They show the student in high spirits on the beach and partying with her friends in clubs. Then, one evening, the blonde 18-year-old meets 3 Dutch men at a party. The 18-year-old is seen with them for the last time on this day. The men later claim to the police that they dropped Natalie off in front of her hotel. In fact, however, the schoolgirl disappears without a trace that evening and never reappears. Years after the incident, more and more details come to light. Through some circumstantial evidence, it becomes clear that the men did not drive Natalie to her hotel, but to the beach. There, the 18-year-old was probably still believing that the party there would continue harmlessly. However, in an interrogation, the main suspect of the 3 men, Joran van der Sloot, implied that they had taken Natalie to the beach and sold her to Caribbean traffickers there. Later, however, he recanted his confession. Since then, no trace of Natalie Holloway has been found, and no one knows whether she is still alive. The following person on our list also disappeared during a vacation trip, and here, too, the circumstances are still more than mysterious. We are talking about the singer Daniel Kubelbach, who has been missing since 2018. Daniel Kubelbach took part in a cruise at that time, and what happened there raised many unanswered questions. Although the singer has long been considered a flashy bird at the time, who likes to dress snazzy and sometimes behaves a bit strangely on the cruise ship, it becomes really curious. The last shots show him in women's clothes on board. According to other passengers, he also behaved extremely unusually and, at that time, for example, also denied being Daniel Kubelbach. Suddenly, the singer disappears from the ship and the captain immediately searches for him. But all the effort is in vain. Daniel Kubelbach remains missing, and it is suspected that he jumped from the ship's deck into the sea. However, it remains unclear whether this is the case or whether he has taken off somewhere to escape his life, as is sometimes assumed on the internet. Finally, we want to focus on the missing schoolgirl Michaela Bali case. 7 years ago, the 16-year-old Canadian told her classmates that she was planning to travel to various countries and had the equivalent of around 3,500 euros in her account for this purpose. Then, on a Tuesday morning in April 2016, she skipped school and first tried to sell a ring at a pawn shop. The student then sat down at a fast food restaurant with the surveillance camera filming her. Michaela can be seen here, writing text messages on her cell phone. It later comes out that she only sends the phrase "I need help" to a friend, but later writes in another text message that it has already been taken care of. In addition, the 16-year-old makes a lot of phone calls. Finally, Michaela approaches a woman in a restaurant and asks if she can book a hotel room. At noon, she suddenly shows up at her school and tells them she wants to take a bus to the nearest big city. The last footage of Michaela shows her in a restaurant near the bus stop. Michaela Bali's cell phone, as are her social media accounts, is turned off early the following day. Police later found out that Michaela Bali never got on a bus. She also has less money than she previously told her classmates. To this day, there are no clues as to Michaela Bali's whereabouts. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't subscribed to our account yet, you better do it quickly. Until next time, here at Wisefool.